Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking, and today we're going to talk about helmets again, but we're not going to talk about a specific kind of helmet, but we're going to talk about a specific detail and part of many helmets, and that is the top of the helmet. Now, this video was inspired by one of you viewers, and his name, I'm not sure whether I'm pronouncing it right or not, but his name is Sodemo 2007. I'm not really sure. It kind of sounds Japanese, the name. I'm sure he's not Japanese, but the name kind of sounds Japanese. So in which case, the pronunciation will probably be Sodemo 2007, if I had to pronounce that in Japanese. So I don't know whether it's Sodemo or not, but that's the person. He watched one of my latest videos, and that is the video about the Corinthian helmet, and he posed an interesting question. And I was about to answer the question in the comments below, as I normally do. But then I noticed that the answer was rather elaborate and very, very long, and then I thought to myself, well, why not making a video? So thank you, Mr. Sodemo 2007, thank you for watching, and thank you for inspiring me for making this video. And I also like to thank you, all of you viewers, and please always comment my videos, because if I find an interesting question or an interesting anything or a request that I would like to, that I think it could be good for my channel, then definitely I am going to make videos about that. This is not the first time anyways. So let's get straight to the points, back on tracks. We are going to talk about the top of helmets. Now, the question was really pertaining not to the Corinthian helmet itself, but to the Thracian helmet. And the question that I was posed was, what is the purpose of the decoration that you normally have on those helmets, and whether it wouldn't be rather dangerous because an opponent could rather grab it and use it against you. Now, first thing first, why was there a decorative point area on the top of the helmet in ancient times? Well, it was not only the case of Thracian helmets, hence my great helmet here. Many helmets had decorations, for example even the Roman helmets, and even the Corinthian helmet that I talked about in the other video could have decorations on top, like crests. Now, why would you add things like that? Well, the reason is that except for some cylindrical helmets like the great helms, most helmets had preferred to have something on top, for example even an oval shape. The great helm was kind of an exception, not the only one, but let's just say that in most cases an ovally shaped helmet is a lot better to resist against impact than a cylindrical one, a flat top. So rather than having a flat top, it's always better to either have an oval shape, which is normally called sugar leaf, or to have even a decoration, because when you receive an attack, a blow on the top of your head, if it does happen, then if you have a cylindrical and flat top, all the impact force will be delivered directly to your spine, and that's going to cause a lot of damage. As a matter of fact, even the great helm that you see here is a model that was normally used for around 100 years, and then they decided to go back to ovally shaped ones, which I'll show you here in an image. And even the helmets that follow in the Middle Ages, such as the hound skull, as you can see, have abandoned the top flat part, the cylindrical shape, in favor of a sugar leaf or an ovally shaped one. Because if you can imagine, a blow delivered to this part will easily be partially deflected in its strength. So you will still feel the attack, but you will not get the entire 100% force and inertia linked to a normal blow which hits a flat surface. Okay, so these were a lot more effective than flat tops. Now, going back to ancient times and things like the Thracian helmet. Now, obviously the oval shaped top would be probably the best technological development as far as helmets are concerned. There is also another reason for these decorations, and we find that again with great helmets. As a matter of fact, decorations were added on top of some great helmets to prevent the flat surface to be exposed to attack. Also, there was another reason why ancient people and ancient warriors used to put decorations on top of their helmets to threaten the enemy. You have to imagine that a knight wearing these kind of helmets could look or appear a lot taller than what he actually was. And that looked like a more fearsome and even stronger enemy to defeat. There is also a whole psychological reason why these things were added. Imagine even, for example, shapes of dragons or shapes of mythological monsters. All these things would give the warrior a stronger and fearsome appearance. This was not something only usual in the Middle Ages. Even in ancient times, if we look at the gladiators in ancient Rome, for example, we see that the Murmillone, or the Murmillion, I suppose in English, I'm not sure, was the gladiator, the heavy armored gladiator, whose helmet was inspired to that of the image of a mythological fish. So again, images that would create a less natural and more supernatural, give us a more supernatural image and aura to the warrior you were facing. Now, moving to the second point of the question that I was asked, wouldn't it be possible to get caught? Wouldn't it be easy to grab the opponent's whatever decoration he had? And wouldn't that be a disadvantage actually for the warrior wearing that kind of helmet? Well, again, let's put things into perspective. Let's say that you are facing an opponent, okay, and he has that kind of helmet. But first of all, let's think about how close you would have to be in order to be able to get a hold of the top of his helmet. We're talking about this distance. If we think that the opponent has a sword, and this is a normal sword, just a one-handed sword, this is the distance I need, and this is the distance the sword can cover. Well, before I can actually hold probably there is going to be battle. So consider this as a standard distance for fighting. So probably is not that easy to get that close to be able to grab the opponent's on top of the helmet. Another thing is what hand are you going to use? So for example, you have a sword in your right hand, and let's say you have a shield or a dagger on your left hand. Here we are. Now, in this case, if I use my right hand to grab his helmet, I cannot strike. Okay? Well, I could strike with the shield, but the thing is that both his hands are still free. So he can easily cut me through and pierce me a million times, and the only advantage that I would have got would be that I grabbed him. So yes, I can try to move him around and perhaps try to make him lose his balance, but he can still kind of stab me to death, so probably not a good idea. Well, I could try to use the shield in the meantime, but this looks like a very awkward situation for me rather than for him. Secondly, I could try and use the hand holding the shield, although that's a very, very difficult thing to do, and then perhaps pierce him like this. But again, he's not going to just stand there and let me do it. So he still can retaliate, and that's one of the problems. I do not have my defense to stop this, so I can try and stop him with my sword, but again, he has two hands, I only have one free. So unless it's a situation where the opponent has been disarmed, and then I just want to kind of hold him like that and finish him off, I don't think that would have been much of a problem in the Middle Ages. So yeah, the whole grabbing idea kind of looks like more of something that could happen perhaps in a video game with the right combination of buttons rather than something historical. And that's probably one of the reasons why no one really bothered about the danger of being grabbed on those things. And also, thirdly, last but not least, the height of the thing. Because imagine, okay, a medieval man. Now I am a meter and 76, 77 centimeters tall. And probably a knight in the Middle Ages would have been a little shorter than me, or generally speaking, although you did have like really, really tall people. But still, even if someone is for example, 1 meter and 65, so let's say 10 centimeters roughly speaking, shorter than me, with the helmet, we are talking about a person who probably will be over here, so not very easy to catch, I have to say. So again, this is also another point that we might want to keep in mind. Alright, I hope that this answered the question of my viewer, and I hope that this video was interesting for all of you who are interested in medieval helmets. Thank you very much for watching. Please always make sure to comment below and ask me as many questions as you want, and I'll try to reply to all of you, and perhaps we can all have fun and learn from each other on this channel. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings.